After defeating Chavez Jr. in a dominant performance, Canelo Alvarez announced that he would be fighting Gennady Golovkin next.
Golovkin, you are next, my friend.
At this point in time, Canelo Alvarez was 27 years old with 49 wins and only one loss coming from Floyd Mayweather. Triple G, on the other hand, had a perfect undefeated record of 37 wins and 0 losses. On September 16th, 2017, in front of a sold-out crowd of 23,000 people, Canelo Alvarez and Triple G would go to war.
Both of these guys know the history of the sport. They want to follow in that line of succession. Triple G so much more confident now. The uppercut lands, right hand.
Canelo and Gennady would go back and forth the entire fight.
Rosario. Put his man
counter anyway. You saw he got counter just then when he went to the fight, when he went to the head.
Canelo missing upstairs.
Gennady Golovkin had some good moments in the fight, landing his jab efficiently and controlling the pace of the fight.
Triple G, that is.
Jab.
Very confident.
Triple G walks right through it. Puts him back against Alvarez.
Canelo also had some great moments in the fight, landing several power punches on Triple G. It was clear Canelo was looking for the knockout.
He's fighting his fight right now.
Triple G seems clearly to pursue. And he lands a tremendous right hand.
And he didn't seem confidence with the jump.
The championship rounds were arguably the best rounds of the fight. Both fighters stood toe-to-toe, exchanging shots, and the crowd was on their feet.
Gets a right hand in. Lands a left. Right hand by Canelo.
After all 12 rounds, no winner was announced. Instead, the fight was declared a draw.
This is officially a draw.
Many boxing fans believed Triple G won the fight despite the decision, and one of the judges was highly ridiculed after the fight after scoring it 118 to 110 in favor of Canelo Alvarez. Despite the controversy, the fight has been declared a classic. It surpassed Mayweather versus Canelo in viewership and became the third highest gate in boxing history, and the first boxing match to generate over 1 million pay-per-view buys that doesn't include Floyd Mayweather. Immediately after the controversial ending, talks began for a rematch between Canelo and Triple G, and this rematch wasn't easy to make happen. And here's why. The purse split was one of the main issues preventing the rematch to take place. Canelo wanted a 65-35 split of the revenue in his favor, and Triple G wanted a 50-50 split. We also have to mention March of 2018, when the rematch was truly in jeopardy. Canelo Alvarez failed 2 random drug tests and tested positive for a banned substance called clenbuterol. Canelo was banned for 6 months and had no choice but to pull out of the rematch. It almost seemed like the rematch wasn't gonna happen, but ultimately, after months of negotiations and after Canelo's suspension, both Canelo Alvarez and Triple G finally came to an agreement. Golovkin agreed to a 45% split to Canelo's 55%. And after that, the fight was on, and it was set for September 15th, 2018. In a sold-out arena in front of 22,000 fans, after all the obstacles and the controversial ending in their first fight, Canelo Alvarez and Triple G would meet for the second time.
Gennady, you see it's red, and there's a nice.
Yeah, definitely younger right now.
And he's punching, but he's doing,
He's doing some counter.
it looks like Golovkin
With the feints. So the solar plex will come out.
Canelo Alvarez came out looking to trade shots and push the pace of the fight, while Triple G, much like the first fight, was landing his jab very efficiently.
11.5 front. That's so much. Stiff jab. The punch that.
Canelo managed to push Golovkin back, and he did his best work throughout the middle rounds of the fight. And it looked like Canelo was in charge.
In the San Diego County area, all the trainers, everybody knows from down as a kid where he walked into their gym from humble beginnings. Now he said, I enjoy the good life. I like the Dolce & Gabbana.
But Golovkin started to heat up in the later rounds. He landed heavy power shots on Canelo and continued to land his jab.
Getting stronger. And Chet Porter right now.
The 12th and final round of the fight was a war of who wanted it more.
Minutes. But not all that possible touchdowns. Those were very well in this fight.
At the end of the fight, 2 out of the 3 judges thought Canelo Alvarez did enough to win, and Canelo was declared the victor.
Your winner by majority decision and new.
Canelo Alvarez dethroned Triple G of the WBA and WBC middleweight championships and handed him the first loss in his career. But there's no doubting that both of their fights ended in very controversial decisions. Until this day, boxing fans will debate the outcome of their 2 classic fights. After Canelo Alvarez unified all 4 major world titles to become the undisputed super middleweight champion with an 11th round technical knockout victory over Caleb Plant, it appeared likely that Alvarez would move up to challenge for a world title in his 5th division. Canelo agreed to a 2-fight deal with DAZN to fight WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bivol on May 7th. And the other fight on the deal was, you guessed it, Triple G.
Look at him go! Oh my word, Bivol! Control, not giving up control. Stop! Right now, he fights someone he wants.
After 12 brutal rounds, Dimitri Bivol scored the biggest win of his career by defeating Canelo Alvarez by decision to retain his WBA light heavyweight championship. Canelo Alvarez, whose previous lone defeat came against Floyd Mayweather in 2013, connected on only 17% of his punches against Bivol and was outlanded by a margin of 152 to 84. Canelo was defeated convincingly. Canelo's ambition of moving up in weight to make history finally caught up with him. He took a big risk fighting Bivol and paid the price. Talks of a rematch with Bivol were in discussion, but ultimately, the smarter decision for Canelo was to move forward with the fight the boxing world really wants to see. After 2 controversial endings, on September 17th, 2022, Canelo Alvarez and Triple G will face off for a 3rd time. At 40 years old and coming off an impressive win, Triple G will have one last opportunity to pull off the biggest win of his career. On the line will be Canelo's WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO super middleweight titles. Will Triple G be able to pull off an upset win at 40 years old? Can Canelo shake off his recent loss to defeat Triple G for a 2nd time and put the doubters to rest? This is the Canelo Alvarez vs Triple G trilogy. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed this video, watch this video next.